Hi there, my name is Henry Ford. I was born on July 30th, 1863, to my parents William and Mary Ford. We lived in a farm in Dearborn, Michigan, about 9 miles out of Detroit. I was the first surviving son of 6 children. I have 3 brothers and 2 sisters. When I was 13, my father gave me a pocket watch. I was fascinated by the gears and the moving components. I took it apart and put it back together many times. Friends and family heard of this and started asking me to fix their timepieces as well. At the age of 16, I was no longer happy with farm work. I found myself doing some apprentice work as a machinist in Detroit. After 3 years, I returned to the family farm. But I felt inspired to continue to learn to operate and service steam engines. I even studied some bookkeeping in this time. In 1888, I met my wife Clara, and in 1891, Clara and I moved to Detroit, where I became an engineer for the Edison Illuminating Company. Around that time, my son Edsel was born. I spent most of my time at the factory, and in my free time, I continued to work on and design my first ever gas-powered horseless carriage, known as the automobile. The idea of the automobile was loved by many, but not affordable by most. At this point, my goal was to change that. In 1896, I completed what I called the quadricycle. This vehicle had a light metal frame, 4 bicycle wheels, and was powered by a 2-cylinder, 4-horsepower gasoline engine. Everything really started to take off from there. I was inspired by some encouragement from Thomas Edison, and I was determined to improve my prototype and more. I left my namesake company in 1902, and a year later started the Ford Motor Company. I was determined to improve. In 1908, the Model T made its debut. It was an efficient, reliable, and affordable vehicle for everyone. It was a huge success, but I had more orders than I could fulfill. That's when I got the idea to create the first ever mass production assembly line. This assembly line was an efficient way to assemble vehicles and cut down on time it took to produce the vehicles. Eventually, over half the automobiles in America were Model T, also known as Tin Lizzies. I was so delighted that I gave all of my workers a raise. During this time, I made many great friends. Thomas Edison, Harvey Firestone, and John Burroughs, to name a few. We called ourselves the Vagabonds. For many years, we went on annual camping trips. A few times, some presidents joined us. President Harding joined us in 1921 and President Coolidge in 1923. In 1927, I moved production to a massive industrial complex that I had built on the banks of River Rogue in Dearborn, Michigan. The plant included a glass factory, steel mill, assembly line, and all other necessary components of automobile production. The same year, I introduced the new Model A automobile. This vehicle had better brakes, more horsepower, and many other improvements. By this time, I had produced over 15 million Model Ts and grew into the largest automobile manufacturer in the world. Now, I would like to share with you a song that was written about me. Born in 1863, Henry Ford was the name. Tinkering with watches would soon bring him fame. Quadricycle had a metal frame, 4 wheels, horsepower to gain. He invented the assembly line and the Model T. He invented the assembly line and the Model T. Oh, we made a great vehicle and supported the Nazis. Model T got popular, I want one of those. Need to build a factory, need to build it close. It was just outside of Dearborn, the assembly line was born. He invented the assembly line and the Model T. He invented the assembly line and the Model T. Oh, he made a great vehicle and supported the Nazis. Let's go on a camping trip with Harvey Firestone, John Burroughs, Thomas Edison. Come on, take along. Bring some presidents, it's gonna be a good time. He invented the assembly line and the Model T. He invented the assembly line and the Model T. Oh, he made a great vehicle and supported the Nazis. I hope you enjoyed the song. Whoever wrote that must put a lot of effort into it. Now I would like to show you that portrait that was created for me. As you can see here, there's a beautiful printout of a portrait that somebody put together for me. It has my original image, some details, and a picture of the Model T, and even a newer model of the Ford Mustang, which is one very remarkable car. Thank you all so much for watching. Have a great one.